Hey kids, Richard from Castles, Capes, and Clones, and today we'll be unboxing figures from the Marvel Legend line for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So join me on today's episode of Hyperspace Hijinx. So I'm going to unbox some figures from the movie that just came out, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And as I like to do on the unboxing videos for these characters is give you a little background on them. So that means for this one particularly, I'm going to go into some spoiler territory. So if you have not seen the movie or, don't want to know, then go see it and then come back to this video to see these figures. If you don't care about spoilers, then let's trudge on forward. So, interesting fact about these figures is that they came out like in April. Because I think with the whole pandemic thing, this movie was supposed to come out last year. So the toys would have been on shelves around the time people would have seen it, or at least after people have seen it, so people who would know who these characters are. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So I think, you can see these figures like on clearance at like Target or something because it's been out for months, but no one knows who they are, so no one cared, I guess. Unless you're like me, who was looking forward to this movie and knew that I would want these figures then. So, let's start off. There were 5 figures in the line. I only got 4, because there is one of Wenwu, who is Shang-Chi's father. Because there is a shot of him in the past that looks more like the Mandarin, and I wanted that figure, so I was hoping at some point they would release it. So now I have to go hunt for Wenwu, because it's, again, been months, so maybe I can find him again. And also, there was a figure of the Great Protector, who is the dragon from the movie. And I wasn't sure if they were going to release another version of it or whatever, so now I have to go find that. But anyway, I did get 4 of the 5. 4 of the 6, if you count the Great Protector. We're going to start with Death Dealer. So Death Dealer is one of the antagonists, I guess, of the movie. He seems to be the guy who helped train Shang-Chi when he was a kid. And, from the trailers and whatnot, it seemed like he would be a big part of the story. It's not. I think it's my only gripe with the movie, really. It's an awesome movie. I love it. But I think this character was a little bit overhyped due to the trailers and this toy. In fact, I would have rather had a Blade Fist figure because he was a little more prominent on it. But this one probably looks cooler. So there's that. These figures have the typical Marvel Legend line box. You can see the logo for the movie right there. These were part of a bigger line that has a Build-A-Figure for Mr. Hyde, so you can see his arm. I didn't collect them all, so I don't have all the pieces for Mr. Hyde. But whatevs. The other packaging that's kind of different is the one for Katy. Katy was considered the Lux figure when they came out, and now I think she's totally in the clearance section. But it's kind of weird. You're like, why is Katy of all characters? Why is Aquafina a deluxe character? It's because Katy comes with Morris, and if you watch the movie, and hopefully you have if you're come this far, Morris is the headless dog, cat, bear, pig. So, and she comes with a little more accessories. A couple of hands, her bow, and quiver and stuff. So, that's cool. But, let's go ahead and open one of these figures. So, Death Dealer first. Yep. There you go. So you can see he comes with the Build-A-Figure piece, but then also another set of hands. Looks like he's holding the knife that he has, and then there's also a hand where he's releasing some daggers. So it's kind of cool. Let's take him out. Crinkle. Pew! Alright. So here we go, in all his glory. You can see he's got the typical articulation. The skirt part is a soft plastic, so you can kind of get around that. Head movement all around. His ponytaily top knot thingy doesn't impede it at all. All in all, pretty cool. Take a look closer at his face. Maybe. There you go. So yeah, like the trailers made this guy look like he was to be, you know, a central figure, but wasn't at all. In fact, we don't really know much about this guy. What's interesting is his coat is not actually molded onto the body. It is a loose piece. The arms are part of the body, are molded on, but this part is not. That's a cool kind of detail. Gives a little bit more realistic look. His daggers on the back of his belt are like a softer plastic, so they're a little bendy. And let's take a look at his other hands. So here you go with his other hands. You can see him throwing, and then he's got one dagger in his hand. So that's kind of a cool action pose you can put him in. Right? So there you go. There is Death Dealer. Let's take a look at Shang Li, who is Shang-Chi's sister, younger sister in the movie. Here you go. She is dressed in her outfit from the end of the movie, the battle, which is an outfit that was gifted by her mother, made out of dragon scale. Here's the back. What's funny about her is that she comes with 5 extra hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in total, there's 7 hand pieces. So there's an odd piece. Once I open it, we'll figure out what that is. She also comes with her rope dagger thingy. I'm sure it has an actual name. I don't know what it is, but she uses that throughout her fighting style. So there we go. Let's open her up. Better look at what's inside. That's a big body piece for the Build-A-Figure. Like, that's crazy. Now I'm kind of wish I did get the whole full thing. But I'm not really a big Mr. Hyde fan, so yeah. And I wasn't crazy about the other figure, so I only get what I want. As should you. Alright, let's take her out of the package. Alright, so here you go. Shang Li. So she has the typical kind of female articulation on her, that which means she doesn't have a waist swivel, but she has an abdomen kind of swivel. Um, she does have full range, as you can see. Her outfit is dragon scale in the movie, and it kind of feels like it. Like there's like a kind of different texture to it. Makes it seem more like it'd be rigid or whatnot. Her elbow joints seem very like I feel like I'm gonna break it. So this one elbow, I don't know, it's not doing it for me. Looks kind of weird. Um, she does have the kind of open palm hands on her, which was kind of significant to the movie, as that's kind of her mother's style, whereas Wenwu's is more of a closed fist style. Like there's like look at the intricacies of her outfit. It's kind of cool, and then I can't remember the actress's name, but kind of looks like her. Yeah, what do you think? All in all, solid figure. Let's go add her other hands on and see where that extra hand goes. So she has 2 alternate left hands and 3 alternate right hands. I think one right hand is just to hold this without any kind of like action pose for it. But let's take a look. So while the other hands that she came with were open palm, she also has fists. So you can mix and match that. And then she has... So this alternate right hand is a little bit more open to hold something, whereas the other alternate right hand is a little bit smaller gap. So I think this is meant to hold it, while the other one is meant to be in a more action pose of it. So like maybe it's just meant to be holding it. I don't know. Let's try the other hand and see how that works. You know what? I'm not even sure. I can't even get... So these other hands, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it's open, but it's closed at the thumb and index finger. So I can't really maneuver this into it. So I don't know what this is supposed to be. Maybe it's like meditation. So she's like this. I don't know. If you know, let me know. I might have to look at some photos of it, but I have no idea what that's for. So, eh. But anyway, there you go. Shang Li. Whee! Now, let's go ahead and open up Katy as the deluxe figure, and we'll get to Shang-Chi last. So, here's her box. It's a slightly bigger box than the other ones, because like I said, I think she's considered a deluxe figure. And it's funny, it says Marvel's Katy, where all the other ones just say the character name. So I think because she is an original character created for the MCU, they named her Marvel's Katy. When this came out, a little bit spoilery to me, because Aquafina was kind of listed as Katy, Shang-Chi's friend, and from the trailers looked like she didn't know who she was. So I was like, why is she dressed up in kind of a warrior outfit? Like, is she a secret? Like, the story in the trailer made it seem like Shang-Chi went to the States to live out a life for 10 years until his father needed him, and then I thought maybe she was there to watch over him, and it turned out she's like a warrior. Nope. She just kind of learned how to be a bow person in the movie. which, you know, superheroes. But she does have her end battle outfit, which is, I'm guessing, also made of dragon scale. I'm not too sure. They never really explained that, because I know Shang-Chi and Xiaoling's were dragon scale. So, and everyone dressed into some armor for the end battle, and I think maybe. We'll see. Alright, so let's go ahead and open her up. There you go. She comes with one loose arrow, a couple of bundled arrows, her quiver, her bow, and of course, Morris. Which I forget the name of that creature, but it is a mythical creature in Chinese culture. They're supposed to be confused a lot. And yes, it has no head. Let's get her out of here. Alright, so here we go. So first off, I think there's a pretty good likeness of Aquafina. What do you think? It doesn't have the same kind of texture as Xiaoling's armor, so maybe it's not dragon scale? I don't know. So let's see her articulation. Kind of full arm. She does have the typical female abdomen kind of thing going for her. And then it looks like she would have full leg articulation. The outfit she has on, the robe thingy, is a soft plastic. It has a slit on the skirt here, so she can kind of move. A little bit of movement in there. This belt is kind of loose, so it gives her a range there. Otherwise, the rest of it is molded onto the figure itself. So I do like she has a little wisp of hair there. So it's cool. She does come with an alternate set of hands that I'm guessing, maybe not, they're closed fists. So this is the hands she would use to hold her bow. So let's do that first. Actually, let's look at her quiver. It's actually pretty detailed, so that's pretty cool. Let's see how this would go on. Maybe like this. There's her with her quiver on. Then she does come with, did I lose it already? There you are. A bundle of arrows. See there? And then just the one single arrow. I have a couple figures with like these things, and I will always lose them. Huh. There's something interesting about her bow. Alright, so there's a little thing interesting about her quiver. There's actually two places, right? So this skinnier piece, you can actually stick the bow and arrow, or the bow in, or the arrows in. So that's kind of cool. And I think the other one, you can actually stick the bow in. Yep, you can stick the bow in there. So that's cool. I haven't seen anything like that on any kind of figure I have with the bow. So that's cool. Let's see how well the bow actually sits in her hand. For those of you who are bow aficionados, If you were right-handed, do you hold the bow in your right hand or your left hand? Like, what's the proper etiquette there? Because on this figure, she is meant to hold the bow with her right hand. And because of the way her left hand is kind of sculpted, it looks like that's where you actually place the bow, or the arrow. I don't think they've ever made figures that are quite... I'm not going to try, but that's pretty much kind of what it looks like. Can't get it quite the way you would want. So the box has the bow in the left hand. Let me try to get that in there again. Alright, so maybe it looks a little bit better. What do you think? There you go. So all in all, I think she looks pretty cool. Whee! You know, the problem with having a whole bunch of extra hands is like I have a whole bunch of extra hands. And I don't know, like I'm not going to label them. And I don't want to like make individual storage things for them. So I have a whole bunch of hands that eventually I won't know who they go to. Awesome. So last but not least, Shang-Chi himself comes with a bow staff and 2 sets of hands, or 2 extra sets of hands. Let's open them up. Alright, there we go. Looks like it comes with the other leg of that Build-A-Figure. It's a bow staff, and then 2 sets of hands, extra hands, and then the figure. So let's get him out of here. Alright, so let's take a look at the figure himself. Again, kind of like Shang Li, he does have a different kind of texture to his outfit. Again, it's supposed to be dragon scale, so that's kind of cool. Looks like the hands that he has on are for the bow staff. As far as articulation, as a martial artist, you would hope he would have full range, which he does. He does have a waist swivel and also an abdomen joint. So it's not like the joint like the other figures have. It's just this kind of movement and then this kind of movement. Not sure which one I like better. I think I kind of like the abdomen ball joint better. But yeah. Otherwise, he does have the kind of double elbow joint along with the double knee joint. And let's see a close-up of his face. Does he look like... Focus. Does it look like Simu? A little bit. I think Aquafina, or Katy looks the most like the actor. I really like his outfit. You kind of see the detailing. The textures there, so that's kind of cool. Let's take a look at his other hands, or let's look at his bow staff first. So there you go with his staff. Now the staff is also kind of part dragon scale, so there's a little bit of power to them, which is kind of cool. All right, let's take a look at his other hands. So his sister, Shang Li, came with these hands that have kind of closed, but they're kind of like not. I don't know how to explain this, but like if you look at his, like what is that? Like I can't put the staff in there, but it is not a fist. It's kind of like he's snapping his fingers. Or almost giving you the middle finger. That's weird. So I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. It looks like he's typing. So, I don't know. I don't like those because I don't know what they're supposed to be. I would have preferred closed fists like his sister has. Then you have these other open kind of hands. Not quite open palm like his sister, but kind of like half. It's not a fist, but it's kind of like almost like grapply. So that's kind of cool. I actually kind of like it. The one thing about him, especially in this outfit, is that at the end of the movie, obviously he gets the 10 rings. He does not have them on this figure. So I wonder if there's going to be a version with him with the 10 rings. Again, if you've seen the movie, one, you know he's coming back in a future something. We don't know yet because that post-credit scene or mid-credit scene, you know, Wong, he was literally, him and Katy were talking with Wong, who was talking with Captain Marvel and a human Bruce Banner, which is interesting. Because last time we saw Bruce, he was like permanently in Hulk mode, so that's weird. But we do know that they're coming back for something. They pretty much, Bruce Banner kind of welcomed them into the superhero world, so that's kind of cool. And then they went to karaoke. That was another story. What's interesting about Shang Li is that she's now taking over the 10 rings, and the post credit scene said the 10 rings will return, which means like not just her, but the 10 rings themselves. So I wonder what that's going to be. Like, what is that, a movie in itself or whatnot? I don't know. But anywho, Shang Li, newest member of the MCU superhero family. Whee! What I forgot to do with Katy's figure is talk about this guy, Morris. Now, he's kind of a cool character. He's mythical, has no face. He hangs out with, oh man, is it Kevin Flattery? Who is Ben Kingsley's character from Iron Man 3, and also Hail to the King, which I just noticed is the short, I can't remember which movie it came with, but the short that kind of continues the story, what happens to that character. It's on Disney Plus now. But essentially, he goes to jail, and then actual member of the 10 Rings comes and kidnaps him, basically, and presumably kills him. But we find out from this movie that all he did was distract him with Macbeth, and they kept him around. Kind of, as Katy puts it, like a court jester. But he hangs out with Morris, who is a mythical creature. You see some of the coloring on the wings there. This is a cool little addition, but I kind of wish, and it's funny, so it has wings, but also is a sixth leg something. I don't know. I kind of wish it was upright instead of sitting down, or at least, you know, jointed so you can do things with him. But still, that's kind of cool. So there you have it, the figures from the Shang-Chi Marvel Legends line. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend going to see it. I mean, if you got this far, you know a little bit about the movie already, and I kind of spoiled some things. So hopefully, you heeded my warning in the beginning, and that there would be spoilers here. So, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a really good movie. It's like, apart from just being a really good MCU movie, it's a really good martial arts movie and a really good Asian movie. Check on the channel. I did a reaction video to it with our friend Tom, and then we haven't done it yet as of the taping, but we should be having a longer spoiler line discussion with all of us talking about that movie in depth, because I think it deserves it, and I hope it does well, especially in these times, and especially for the Asian community, which, of course, Laura and I are part of. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'll catch you on the flip side.